Gene is going to look radically different when you drive by it in 5 years than it looks today, and it's exciting.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
But I want to talk to you about Gene and share with your listeners what's happening in Gene. And I'm going to be a little bit out on the curve ahead of this. Okay,
we like
but
that.
That's the idea here, is we want to educate and learn, right?
Right.
Someone came along about 10 years or so ago, and they did a study. Now, let me back up a second. Let's say that you're a truck driver and you are union and you're at the LA Harbor and you've just loaded your truck up and you're heading to Vegas.
Okay.
You're going to have to come all the way through Vegas, likely to North Las Vegas, to dump your load that you've got.
Right.
And then turn around and head back to LA. But the problem with that is you can't do that in one day. The unions require that the driver has to stay overnight, one night, and then drive back to LA. So you've got the additional cost of the 40, 45 minutes from Vegas to North Las Vegas, dump your load, turn around, stay the night, and head back.
Okay.
Somebody does some calculations about a decade or so ago, and they come up with this idea. If we build a distribution center in Gene, a driver leaving the port of LA can actually deliver the load, turn around, and make it back the same day.
Wow.
That's pretty much all I have to tell you about what's going to happen to Gene.
Yeah.
We're already seeing the terrible casino come down. There's going to be a 1 million+ square foot distribution center built there.
Okay.
And we've got standing orders for land. Gene is going to look radically different when you drive by it in 5 years than it looks today, and it's exciting.
Isn't that interesting?
It's about time for Gene.
It really is, yeah. Gene's, it's just that you kind of look at those buildings when you're driving through Gene, you're like, ew, you don't want to stop.
Yeah. It's going to be really exciting to watch that. Another major area of our valley is going to get developed over the next 5 years.
Very cool, you know, and then the airport on top of that. I mean, it becomes another element to that, which makes it even more enticing, I imagine.
Right.
Bringing air cargo in too.
You know how you're driving through the 15 and you get kind of out to Nellis Air Force Base, that area there, you're making that turn?
Yep.
That's what Gene is going to look like someday, with big buildings on either side of the road and lots of distribution.
So so a truck comes from LA Harbor, goes to Gene, drops their stuff, and from Gene they have a distribution center set up to bring it from there wherever they need to go beyond that.
Yep.
And so the guy coming out of LA can come up to Gene, drop his trailer, and then haul back to LA and do it again tomorrow.
Avoid the stay overnight, avoid the extra gas, avoid the extra time.
Very cool.
Yeah, makes a big difference. Smart people out there figuring this stuff out. But
thank goodness. We're just here to report on it. We don't know. I mean, we're not figuring it out. We're just here to report on it, right?
Yeah, the one last challenge is water. We got to get more water distribution out in that area. There's not a lot, so there's a little bit of a development challenge. If you look at some of the new buildings that have just been put up in the last 6 months, you'll see giant water towers next to them as they're dealing with the water issue. But eventually, public water will be distributed.
And people vote. When people come to Vegas, one of the first questions they always ask when they're moving here, what about the water? That's the big, it's one of the big concerns. And I always explain to them, I said, we've been in a 20-year drought. I mean, we've seen it. It's gone up and down. But what history tells us anything is that water flows to money. And so the same thing's going to happen in Gene. If it's economically feasible and it makes sense, and they can write the checks, they're going to get water. It's going to happen from somewhere.